All right, welcome back. So the last part that I left off on was priming it. So everything is primed off camera. I gave it another coat because I used some high build this time after that very, very cheesy Rust-Oleum. So now there were some dents that I took out. We had a couple little ones in here that had to come out. There's another little thing over on this side. So everything is now ready to get sanded. And we're gonna put on a nice coat of wax, and then we can start the mold process. Let's do it. Alright, so it is sanded down with a 1000 grit, and that's what's giving us our nice, even look that we are going for. So, once we put our paste wax on here, we're going to lay it on nice and heavy and thick, and then I'm going to spray it down with a silicone spray. The silicone spray I'm a little bit iffy about because silicone, once you get it on there, it's a real contaminant, so trying to get it off and like finalizing the product is where I think we're gonna run into a problem. But I would rather be safe than sorry for me, so I'm just gonna go a little bit crazy when cleaning the product back off and using a degreaser. So this is where we are left at. Unfortunately, I am still waiting for my paste wax, so by the time you see me next putting the paste wax on, I will not be wearing the same clothing, so it will be a different day because Amazon's on a little bit of a back order right now with all the business they are getting. So I will see you in the next step. Alright, so like I said, different change of clothes, different day. It finally came in. This is the mold wax. It is a paste wax that you can just rub on, buff off, and then you are able to place whatever you are trying to mold, whatever fabric you're trying to use to mold, in the mold. So, we are going to cut this very large roll of fiberglass now. Start cutting it to size, based around our Fender that we are copying, and then we can start laying it on. Let's do it. Alright, so everything is cut up to size. This piece that I have in a little fold here is going to go right here. This is going to sit for a while. I'm just hoping that it molds a little bit better when it's time. This little matting right here, this piece of fabric, is going to go obviously across the whole piece. That is the mold of the Fender. And this is the jam for right in here. And then I have a piece right here, which is going to go right in here. So, I'm going to let that sit for a while, and then we can mold it. Alright, so I'm sorry about the air conditioning. It is hot. I need to keep it on while I'm doing it because it just gets hot way too quick in here. It's like 93 degrees. Sounds like I'm complaining. Not complaining. I'm complaining 100%. But, paste wax. That is what today's video is going to be. So, as you can see, I was also still wearing different shade of clothes because it's just been another day because I got stuck doing some other things. But, what we are going to do is... Thank you. We are going to take this block. We are going to just pick up some of the paste wax, and we are just going to take it and thinly apply it all the way across. We're going to buff it off using a little rag that I have over here. Make sure we get it in all this. I got to give this thing a little cleaning before we start to apply it. But I'm going to make sure it's a mildly thick coat because it'd be nice if this thing just pops off in one easy clean shot with no problems. So that's what we're going to try and do. I'm also going to take this and put the fabric on in layers. So once I get the paste wax on, I'm going to then take my fiberglass and apply it down, roll it all the way out, and then I'm going to have to do the inside of the jam here separately, this separately, and I might be able to get this in one shot. I'm going to try to, but if not, I'm not going to force it because I'd like this to come out absolutely perfect. That's what my goal is with this. So, let's do it. Okay, so with the wax on, the mold release looks good. Now it's at a nice buffed off and shiny. I'm going to mix up a cup of resin, and we have 2 layers in here. So for tonight, what I'm going to do is start by doing everything up top, and I'm going to do in here and do what I can to try and mold all of that down into these jams, because this I would like to be done within one shot. Of course, now I'm going to have to come back later and do all of in here for the door jam and in the hood jam and do that. And I'm also going to try and do in here. I don't know how this is gonna work. If this is gonna come out the way I want it to, I'm gonna hope. So let's just try it and we'll see how far we get. All right, so the first beginning step is done. This is how we look. It's molded up so far very well to all my edges. I did not go down into the hood jam or on the door jam side. Now, as you see, what I also did was a first attempt, a first try, basically. I've never seen someone do it. I just want to see if this helps the process a little bit. I used some sort of a clay. I forgot what they call the clay. Do they have it on it? It's like a modeling clay. It's just a modeling clay. So I just worked it all through the edges, through all the little jams to kind of make it mold as seamless as possible to make the next step even easier when I have to now start taking like the actual copy of the inside. The next step, once this hardens, is it's going to be flipped, and I'm going to do the inside of the hood jam, and then I'm going to do the door jam and just mold it right up to the top layer up here. And then it can just be peeled right off. That's the plan so far. So anything that's like this, basically, just to show you, anything like this that's not fully covered with the resin will be covered with the resin on the next step. And I think this is going to make it a lot easier, especially also using the clay when doing something like this. I think it's going to make the next step a little easier. That's what I'm going for. But thank you so much for watching today's video, even though this has been so many different days, but thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next step. All right, so the AC is off. It is definitely getting hot in here. I used a modeling clay. I was gonna pause it and just show you before I did it, just to show you what I was doing, but I figured it would be just as easy as explaining afterwards, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I took it and just worked it into the edges. So I worked it into the little fender jam here. This is where it meets the bumper. I worked it all into the wheel well jam and a little bit down here, just on some of the harder spots that have trouble sticking. So as you can see, I did this because now when you're working on this like flat angle right here, the fiberglass fabric doesn't want to stick all the way down. So that's why I kind of had to, I broke it up. So we're going to do the door jam on the next one and the hood jam, which is down here, on the next step. I left it like this for now, so I'm gonna let that harden, and then we're able to flip it and just work on those 2 things, and then we can just take it off as one complete mold. So that is gonna be all for today, even though it's been a bunch of different little videos added up because it just took a while to get something. Also, just as a last note, this is the silicone spray that I was talking about. Got it on Amazon. I think it was like $8. Didn't end up using it. Just didn't. This is the mold release. I think I already showed it, but this is the mold release just in case you guys do want it. I will also put the links down in the description, so for whoever wants to replicate the process, you're able to. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.